Welcome to today's video. I'm Richard Chapo. I'm a privacy lawyer down in San Diego, California. Today we are taking a look at the California Consumer Privacy Act annual revenue test. The California Consumer Privacy Act, also called the CCPA, is a new privacy law going into effect in California, obviously, on January 1st, 2020. And the CCPA has often been compared to the General Data Protection Regulation, the GDPR, out of Europe. It's often considered a light version of the GDPR. It's not really true, but it does give you kind of a feel for the same themes that appear in both the CCPA and the GDPR. Now, unlike the GDPR, the CCPA has a minimum threshold test. And what we're really doing here is excluding some of the smaller businesses from compliance because compliance can be costly and what have you. And so we're looking at the first of the three tests today. And it's a pretty simple test. It's a gross annual revenue test. And basically what it says is, does your company make more than $25 million in gross revenues a year? If you do, then you must comply with the CCPA. That's only in relation to the collection of personal information from consumers in California, but most businesses are going to be collecting, that kind of information from some Californians, given California, I think, is now the fifth biggest economy in the world, somewhere around that number. That's the test. You can see the actual text if you want. It's at Civil Code Section 1798.140, subsection C, subsection 1, subsection A. Now, the important thing to understand about this is just because you pass this test, let's say you have annual revenues of $5 million. So you're thinking, woohoo, not yet. There are two other tests that you have to go take and make sure that you get through those unscathed. And those are really beyond the purpose of this video. I'll cover them in other videos. But just because you pass this test doesn't mean you can go out to happy hour. You have to actually take the other tests and make sure you pass those. So all three of them. The other thing to know is this is an annual check. So just because you pass it this year doesn't mean that you're free and clear for future years. You have to run the test every year. So if you make, let's say, 20 million gross this year, you would pass the test. You don't have to comply. But then you have to check again next year. So, 2020, 21, 2022, and so on and so forth. And if at some point you exceed $25 million, well, then you need to obviously start complying with the CCPA. Now, again, very important. There are three tests. You need to take all three tests. This is probably the easiest test for a lot of the smaller businesses to pass. The other two tests are a bit more strict and a bit more difficult to pass. So make sure you look into those. So this is pretty straightforward. It's one of the few parts of the California Consumer Privacy Act that are. But if you have questions or comments, you can always reach me at my website, SoCalInternetLawyer.com. Or you can contact me here through YouTube. You can post comments below. Please keep in mind that is a public area if you are on YouTube. So anything you post there is not confidential or protected by the attorney-client privilege. If you enjoyed the video, give me a thumbs up. If you did not, I feel shame. Thumbs down. Please consider subscribing to the channel, as we'll be posting quite a few other videos on the CCPA. And in fact, you can go to our channel on YouTube, and we have a playlist that's devoted to the CCPA. So you may well be able to find answers there to questions that you might have. Otherwise, thank you for watching. Have yourself a good one.